Huh?
You all moved on from the emotion of the day?
Yeah. No, I think we're all focused on the Rams now. So, yeah, that's all we're really focused on.
How does this team get off to quicker starts?
I guess that's kind of like the million-dollar question, right? And, obviously that's going to be a point of emphasis this week. And, I think, it kind of comes in waves. Last year we had some times where we started off really hot and then we couldn't finish. And then there are other parts in the season where, we kind of similar comebacks. So, I guess it's two sides of the coin. It's good that, we can kind of figure it out mid-game. But obviously, like you said, you want to start off hot. So I'm sure that's something we're definitely going to be talking about a lot this week.
Quicker start doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the game, but it seems like everybody wants that. So how do you emphasize that? How do you make it happen?
Yeah, I think it's just more focusing on, just executing right from the rip and just kind of getting into it. And, again, it's early in the season, so it's just kind of a lot of us are just getting, our legs under us, getting used to it. So, I know we'll get it right.
What was it like in that locker room, especially defensively, the way those first 6 quarters had gone for you as a group?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just down to, us just not beating ourselves. And, we know we have the talent and, everything like that. It's just, just focusing and just having 11 guys do their job every snap. And I think, we showed that we can do that in the second half. And, just building off of that and trying to, put a complete performance.
How big was that drive after the offense finally scored, and then they had the pass interference penalty at 1st and goal at the 7, and the hold into a field goal?
Yeah, obviously that's huge, and I think that was probably their only points of the second half, right? So, no, it's just, again, it's kind of just showing, bend, don't break, and obviously, just like we said, we're just going to try and clean it up so we don't even have, those situations. But, knowing that, when your backs are, against the wall, that you can step up is definitely huge for confidence in the room.
We talked about a lot of things leading up to this game. Better communication, guys being in better spots. Like when you went back and watched the tape, you seem to fix all that in that second half. Yeah,
it definitely was a lot crisper, a lot cleaner, and definitely, obviously, it's good to have that and to build off of, and knowing that you can do it. If we for 8 quarters and in overtime guys weren't doing it, that would be a concern. But the fact that we were able to prove that we can do it, again, kind of just shows like, this is the standard and this is what we got to do. And, hopefully we do that this week.
Where do you guys kind of stand, you think, mentally against the Rams these days? You had that great game early last season, but obviously the next 2 didn't go the way you guys wanted to. Do you feel confident when you go against this team?
Yeah, I think, going into every game, we just treat it the same, just treat it week by week. And, obviously with them there's familiarity because you got to play them twice a year, last year 3 times. So, I think we'll definitely, I think the focus this year is, starting off hot. And, we're just focused on this week. We're not looking at, season series or whatever, stuff like that. But, of course, it's a division game, so, those are always important.
How would you assess the pass rush for the 2 games?
I would say, obviously a lot of positives. I feel like we're getting there. Sometimes, balls out, and obviously first game, Mahomes, he just doesn't get sacked. There's a reason why, he's the $500 million man. And then Derek Carr is no slouch either, very smart quarterback, doing a long time, and, a bunch of weapons. So, it's kind of, there's always a saying like sacks come in bunches, stuff like that. So it's always kind of ebbs and flows. So hopefully, we're just, we keep on getting there and they hold it a little longer.
Does this pass rush have to complement each other more in terms of like inside versus outside compared to years past? You guys had like Chandler, doing a lot of it.
I've been, since I've been here, we've kind of done it. It's been a little bit of everything. My second year, Chandler was down, but we were still able to produce. It's just kind of guys doing their jobs and stuff like that. And, we have a lot of talent in the room across the board. We probably, everybody that's inside and outside can rush, and they can do it from any position. It's something that we really focus on, and, it's, I think it'll definitely come together.
I know the Rams, and when people look at the NFL and look at the NFC, everyone seems to be in agreement that it's fairly wide open. Anybody could beat this year's Rams.
Do you yourself and maybe some of your teammates look at the Rams as still the gold standard in the NFC, or are they just another team?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you give them the respect. They're Super Bowl champs, obviously, but at the same time, I mean, you know, it could be, you know, Thanos out there, you know, they put their pants on just like how we do. So, you know, it's just another game, another week, and we're just going to try and go out there and just do our jobs.
How was having JJ back out there and just his presence along the line?
Yeah, obviously he's great, a lot of fun, and, you know, helps me out, takes some double teams. So, no, I definitely, you know, we were joking how fun it was. We didn't really have a lot of chances last year to kind of work together, and then to kind of do it again was, you know, it was good to kind of get the band back together.
Is that kind of like a tag team? Like you guys can set the offensive lineman up, do different things that you guys kind of want to do?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, you know, try to set it up and create matchups that, you know, are good for everybody. And, you know, he's been doing it so long, so he, you know, he comes onto the sideline and, you know, says, let's do this, this, and you're like, oh, wow, that, you know, didn't think of it, that, you know, that works, and that's why you play 12 years, you got some knowledge to, so, yeah, no, it's obviously, I mean, he does more than just playing, I mean, leader, everything like that.
You guys see it a lot now, Kyler and his running ability, and he just seems to keep maybe getting better in that area when the chips are down. What do you make of that evolving of his mobility, the quickness, and the scampering?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely stresses defenses out a lot. So, you know, I mean, I'm not an expert at quarterback play, but you know, when he's doing that and, you know, scoring points, you know, we love it. So I just hope he keeps doing it.
What's it like when you saw Max Crosby, a champ, like just kind of pounding the ground with their fists when he'd sneak away? What is that like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's good that it's not happening to us because, you know, we've had a couple opportunities this year where we've been pounding the ground because balls have been out while they're coming down, and also just going against Kyler in practice, you're used to it. So it's nice to know it's not just you, you know.
There was a lot of talk last week about practice habits and all that, but then there was also about just executing, making plays. Is it that simple, just being focused on every play, and on whether it's on defense or offense?
Yeah, and I think you know, stuff like that starts on the practice field. Obviously, you know, if something's not right, run it back, do it again. Not just be, oh, I'll get it, you know, in the game, because, you know, it's kind of muscle memory. You gotta, you know, feel it and actually do it to, you know, do it in the game. So, I think, guys, you know, last week we had a really good week of practice, and hopefully, you know, we can build off of that, have an even better practice, and just keep, you know, a steady rise.
Did y'all watch that 22-second play, like as a team or in like a defensive line room, just to watch it?
We haven't watched it yet. We got meetings after, but I know, you know, we're definitely probably going to see that. And, yeah, I mean, watching it live, I've never seen anything like that, so it's pretty special, yeah.
Would that be the new, like, conditioning football teams have?
I hope not. No, I'm good with, like, the 4 to 6 seconds or whatever we do. I'm not going to do 22 seconds. That's too much. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, at some point. It's pretty ready. It makes me feel like down to earth though. It makes me feel like I'm tough. So I like it. Like, yeah, it made me feel edgy. Like I cut my fingers, send a text message, I don't care. That's how I feel. So no, it's literally not even the phone. It's just the little screen that's on it. Like I could peel this off. Like if I take my phone is pretty. Like it's nice looking. But the little pre-screen thing is cracked. So, like I said, it makes me feel edgy. So I'm gonna leave it on there. That's the focus of the week for sure. It's getting that kicked off. It's good to know we can battle back, but it's definitely would be nice to get that fast start so we wouldn't have to put so much stress on our hearts and our blood pressure and such. Yeah, for sure, definitely. Not so much in the moment, but like watching it after, I can't believe I was just doing that. Like that's hard to watch now. It's even harder to watch than it is probably like being in it actually. It's a lot going on while you're in it. You're just trying to just keep swinging until the horn blows, and then it's like, whew, okay, that came together pretty well. But when you watch, it's like all that happened in that amount. Man, I'm tougher than I thought I was. The phone screen is working.
Do you think that the way things finished Sunday, that I don't know if carryover ever works in this league, but that's motivation to know that we're
Yeah, I think it's just it's kind of one of those things that give you a sense of like who you in the foxhole with. You know, it's kind of that feeling of like I know who I'm fighting with. I know I'm fighting with a bunch of guys that'll take it to the deep end and they'll stay down there as long as they have to come out on top. You know what I mean? And that's a good feeling. Obviously, like I said, we would love to be able to get the fast start and produce like we know we can and like we do when we're battling back. But knowing the guys that you're in the foxhole with and knowing that I'm in there with a bunch of guys that are scratch and claw to get that W, that's definitely a good feeling to have.
Kind of joked that he had this big motivational speech at halftime, but realistically, what did happen in there? Was there anything in particular? Was it like any other halftime for you guys?
It definitely wasn't any other halftime. You could tell it was very edgy, and it was, you know, Cliff definitely had some edge to him. It wasn't very like, we're good, we'll figure this out. It was very much like, we got to go now. And we did. It was, whatever was said definitely worked.
That first series, the start of the second half, though, did go great.
Yeah.
It felt like Kansas City all over again, the way it came out.
Yeah. Luckily, like our defense was able to get that stop and where we get the ball back and get it rolling again. But yeah, it definitely, like you said, it didn't feel that way to start. But it's just that's the mentality of that's over with. You know what I mean? We can't do anything about that drive now that it's behind us. It's on to the next one. We still got life on the clock, so we're gonna keep working into the horn blow. And it's like I said, just knowing that I'm in the foxhole with a bunch of dudes that's like that are. We don't care. We're gonna scratch and claw until the end. Even being down 20. What was the biggest deficit? You know what I mean? Like we don't care. You know what I mean? That being in the room with a bunch of guys like that is I don't whatever the circumstance is, I'm good.
Was that as wild of a finish that you've been a part of in this league?
Yeah, I mean Buffalo was wild, but that was like Buffalo was like like I can't believe that just happened. Well, I mean this was the same thing, but we were expecting like when he threw the ball at Buffalo it was kind of like what's gonna happen. That one yesterday was like that just came out of nowhere. Isaiah just came out of nowhere, and Murph definitely came out of nowhere with the. I never seen Murph run that fast in my life. I don't think I've ever seen him run that fast.
The camera didn't catch your reaction like it did in Buffalo. Can you recreate?
I do not remember. I don't think it was a facial reaction. I think I almost ran on the field when Murph was still running. So I had to like catch myself from doing that because I didn't want to be the guy that was like got the penalty and we got called back. And now we don't win, so I didn't want to be that guy. So I caught myself doing that. The funniest part was everybody else was running to Murph, and Justin Pugh was running the other way because there was this dude that was on our bench that was talking junk the whole game to us. I mean, I'm talking about like, it felt like he was like on the bench. Like it felt like he was sitting behind, like directly behind the bench yelling. That's how close he was. That's how loud he was. And Pugh literally beelined to him after the game and let him hear it. He let him hear it. I wasn't over there for it, but I saw him running past me. We passed going this way, and I was like, I ran past him. I was like, nah, that don't really make sense. But after he explained to me what it was, I was like, I'm so glad you went over there, bro, because I was ignoring him the whole game, and I was doing such a good job of ignoring him. And I was so glad that you went right to him after the game because I was so excited I forgot about it.
You like a heckler?
Yeah, he was definitely a heckler. But it was like not good like material though. Like you know how sometimes you get heckled and he's like, yo, he's killing me right now. Like this is
Like that guy in Seattle?
I don't know the guy in Seattle. The guy with the sign? Yeah, he kind of sucks though. That's just like signs. Like this guy was actual words. Like he was actual like banter the whole time. Like every time we would come to the sideline, nonstop. But it was like awful. Like it was all like cringe stuff. It was like you sound like a president of a fan club right now. Like this is not like you need to go learn from the guys in Cleveland or something. Learn how to talk trash. Buffalo, learn how to talk trash to these guys. But it was like but Pugh went straight for him, and that was my favorite part of the whole thing.
Did you ask him did you ask Justin what he said or anything?
I did. We do not have enough bleeps to explain what we said, but he got the message. He got the message though for sure.
Did you get a chance to talk to Chan?
I did it. I got to talk to him a little bit during the game, and it was fun just being like, you know what I mean, being back in the same environment, being able to compete with each other. We competed so much that it was kind of like, it felt normal almost. Like it didn't really feel like this is a big deal. It kind of just felt like we were at practice again almost, like we're just going against each other like we always do. It was cool.
You had like, I got him, he got me,
I was not. I'm gonna be honest with you. There was so much going on and like trying to be on my P's and Q's and everything that's going on and trying to come back in the win. Like when you're down 20, it's kind of hard to keep track of like, he's overall, he's kind of whooping my ass still. Even if I'm beating him, it doesn't matter if we're down 20. Like None of that matters if I won the last snap or not. Like, you got to look at his ultimate trump card is going to be look at the scoreboard. Yeah, that would be mine if I was up 20 and I got beat. I'd be like, hey, bud, like, that's cool, but.
Did you tell how frustrated he was by what Kyler was doing with his legs and his arm?
I could not because, like I said, I can't see Kyler most of the time. If I can see him.
Chandler was getting frustrated that he couldn't get on?
I couldn't really. I really, like I said, we were down, so it didn't really seem like they were too frustrated until like the last 12 minutes or so. It started getting. You could see the smiles and the jokes went away really quick. That last quarter or so, but it wasn't too much banter before that.
I think Kyler was scrambling, and especially those 2 plays, a 2-pointer and
Man,
a touchdown run.
a 2-pointer. I was like, yo, this. I thought the play was over like 3 times on the 2-pointer. He took off running on that last one. I was like, all right, I hope you get there, bud. I don't know if I can get over there now. He ran about 80. I had to run at least 50. I was like, I don't know, bud. I think I'm tapped out on this one. I think I'm maxed out. But it was wild, though. It was definitely wild to be a part of it.
What's that like when, obviously your back is to Kyler most of the time when you're playing, but he's doing all these things. Like, are you, in your head, I know you're focused on what you're doing at the time, but in your head, you're like, this guy is just doing something back there and the whole world's seen it and I'm not.
Yeah. I usually just kind of go on the fact that this guy is still trying to run into me. Like, if he's still, like, moving around, Kyler still has the ball. And, like, if he kind of relaxes, I'm like, does he have it back there? And yesterday I did that twice, and he still had it. And I was like, oh, let me get back on him real quick. But that's usually kind of how I gauge it. Like, if this dude is still trying to, like, snatch off of me and run into me and stuff, Kyler probably still has the ball. That's usually my key for it. But if he's, like, trying to get away from me and turn and run, I'm like, all right, bro, you got it. Go ahead, run the other way, please. Stop trying to run into me. But that's usually my gauge for it, though.
Have you guys had to add anything? Have you guys added anything to practice over the last year or two to help your conditioning when he starts doing stuff like this? Like, do you practice when he runs like that, like how you block and how you stay?
No. I try to just save my energy for Sunday in case I have to actually use it. Because I'd be mad if I had to practice it and then we don't do it. I'd be pretty pissed about that, I'm going to be honest with you, because that sucked. I'm not going to lie. That sucked. Doing that 20 seconds. If I had to practice that and then we never did it again because we've only done it once in his career, I would be pissed. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be pissed about that. But no, you can't, like, there's no teaching for that. It's literally just no clocks. That's what our coach, that's what Cougs always says, no clocks when you're blocking for Kyler. Like, you just got to know if he's holding it, if it's something going on back there, it's probably a big play is about to happen, usually. If he holds it longer than normal, something big is about to happen for the most part. That's usually kind of how I gauge it. So I'm going to hold on as long as I got to because he's setting something up back there.
They always say block till the whistle blows. They tell you
Yeah.
that when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Guys,
Same
go back
premise.
and watch it, you guys didn't stop.
Yeah, it's the same premise. It's like, because it's that, like, if we have to block longer than a normal play is, for the most part, something wild is about to happen. And if you look back at all the long ones, they're usually something exciting, at least.
Do you think he can use those legs into his 30s? He's 25.
I mean, I'm 28, and I still feel pretty spry. And I've had a few surgeries, so I like his odds. I like his chances of being able to still move around. Don't get me, Mr. Mosquito. I still like his chances, though. Seriously, I do.
Do you keep a list of those long plays when it's holiday time, gift giving? You guys remind him of those plays you're blocking?
Hopefully, I try to just make sure that he's not really bumped up and bruised around holiday time. That's the best way to remind him. Like, you see him walking around really light and not limping, you be like, hey, feels good this year around Christmas, huh? Nice and knee bend, I see right there. Just, you don't look too stiff at all. Jersey was clean, huh? That's the phrases. That's usually what we throw around Christmas time, like, And, man, I saw this cool watch I was looking at the other day. It's so cool, man. I wish I can get it. Throw it out there.
Speaking of the last 12 minutes, what is the mindset on the sideline, in the huddle, when you know you're down 16 and know what you have to do just to even tie it?
I know for me, speaking for myself personally, my dad, when I was a kid, my dad always told me, like, if you're going to, like, go do something, like, we're not going to just, like, waste our time and, like, not try really hard if we're out there. So if you're going to be out there, and you got to be out there anyway, you got to sweat regardless, and you got to play football regardless, like, you better stretch and claw to get a win and do everything that you can do to put your team in a position to to win or do whatever your part of the bargain is, you better make sure that you're doing that part of it because y'all got to be out there regardless. I'm not coming out here to hang out. We're not coming out here to put on a jersey and look cool. Like if my portion is this, I want to do this to the best of my ability. And when the horn blows, I'm gonna sleep like a baby at night because I know that was literally everything that I had. So that's my mindset every time that I step on the field, regardless of we up by 30, we down by 30. I'm out here. I'm not hanging out. I'm not cool. Got time. I don't care. We up by 30. I'm not trying to not get hurt. If he called this run behind me, I'm trying to knock this dude off the ball still, and vice versa. If we down by 30, yeah, we might have just threw the ball 30 times. We finna throw it for the 31st time. Like, it's cool. We finna block your ass off, and Kyler gonna throw a dime, and we gonna come back and win this game. That's pretty much the mindset every time, for sure.
When you're coming out
Time for
halftime,
two more.
when you're coming out halftime down 20-0, and you know you have to throw the ball in the second half, do you shift your mindset at all, knowing that you're going to be pass blocking or pass protecting in every single play, basically?
Shift your mind, not so much. I just kind of like, when you go into a game, you kind of just, however the game goes, you got to respect the game, however it goes. Like, you have to, if you're down by 20, we're not finna come out and run the ball 10 times. You know what I mean? It's just, hey, I can't whine and complain about throwing the ball. We shouldn't be down by 20 going into halftime. We wouldn't have to do that. So, you know what I mean? It's just it's a product of whatever you put out on the field. You got to be able to knuckle up and know, hey, we're finna have to sling it. You better have your set shoes on and get up out of there and get ready to dance a little bit. But that's definitely, I wouldn't say a shift in mindset, and kind of just understanding what the game is and respecting it how it comes and knowing this is what we got to do right now to get this dub.
Are the Rams the gold standard of the NFC still? Are the Rams still like the team from the NFC that everyone's got to watch out for?
I mean, they won the Super Bowl, so I think that everybody, you kind of just, the respect is the respect. I couldn't tell you who was the team or the gold standard or who's number one in our division right now. Nobody. Yeah. So I'm saying, so I couldn't, you know what I mean? Like that, they are the standard because they won the Super Bowl last year. That's all I can, you know what I mean? That's all I can tell you. I don't know we're tied. It ain't there's no guy right now, so there is no. Everybody fighting for that slot to wear that crown right now, but everybody know who got the chip, and they got their right, them bragging rights until this time next year.
Thanks, DJ.
Yep. Appreciate y'all.